Hey guys, today we're going to review the Viofo VS1. This is a tiny 2K dash camera with a Sony Starvis 2 image sensor. It's got voice controls, it's got built-in GPS, 5 gigahertz and 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi, and it does have parking mode. So this is basically like an A119 from Viofo, but with all the modern features that the most recent A119 Mini 2 has, but without a screen, so it's smaller. So I was pretty excited to test this review unit out. So let's get started. Hey guys, this was sent to me for review from Viofo. They have helped support my channel for many years and have provided review units in the past, including this one. But I am always going to give my honest opinion on it, unbiased as possible. So I'd like to thank them for sending this review unit out. If you are interested in purchasing this or the other cameras I show in this video, I'll provide links down in the description. Okay guys, here is the tiny little camera. Now, it would install on your windshield right here. I already have it installed. So there's a flat plate that this slides into, and then that way you can remove it if you want. And here you can see it has a USB-C input. That's the power cord. And that cable is a 90-degree cable, so you can have it click in there and then you can hide it up into your headboard. On the back we do have a lock button, so if you see something that you want to make sure you don't lose that video file for, then you can click that and it'll lock it and prevent it from being erased.
Video protected.
You can also get the optional Bluetooth button that does the same thing. Perhaps your camera's going to be too far away from your reach. You can install this somewhere on your dashboard or steering wheel, and then when you want to save or lock a clip, you just hit that button. So this is a nice optional feature you can purchase separately. On the side we got a micro SD card port that supports up to 512 gigabytes. I'll provide down in the description the micro SD cards I recommend that are specifically designed for recording in dash cameras, because that is a bit of a specialty with memory cards, because they need to be able to handle long-term recording for sometimes hours on end. And here you can see there's a mute button. On the front we got the lens, of course, and this rotates as so no left or right controls, but this will obviously give you the picture you need just by tilting it up or down. Something that came out since launch is a CPL, or a circular polarizing filter, that snaps over the top of it, and that is going to give you a better picture during the daytime because it will reduce glare. So if there's ever an option for a CPL filter, I always use it. Now during testing this, I did actually compare it to the Viofo A119 Mini 2. That is the most recent version of the Mini 2 line from Viofo, probably one of the most popular and best-selling dash cameras. And another very popular camera that's probably another one of the best-selling cameras is the Garmin Mini. This is the Mini 2 version, so the more recent version. And you can tell that this one is even tinier than this. But I think people will probably notice a difference in video quality. Now you can see all of these have a circular polarizing lens on here, so this is removable. This one's also removable. But during the testing where I did these side by side, I actually removed the CPL filters. Since these are all optional accessories, I don't like to include the CPL filter in those side by side comparisons. Okay, let's boot it up and try her out. Since there's no screen on this one, obviously, you're going to have to use your phone. So let's turn her on and check out some of the features.
Recording started.
So there are audio alerts, as you heard. They are helpful because they can help notify you if something's wrong with the camera and it's not recording. As I said earlier, it does have audio or voice commands. So let's try some of those out. Turn off audio.
Voice recording disabled.
Turn on audio.
Voice recording enabled.
Turn on Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi enabled.
Turn off Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi disabled.
Take a photo. So as you can see in here, it does work pretty well. Here is the list of different commands you can use. I'm going to look for the Viofo Wi-Fi. Connect.
Wi-Fi connected.
And there we go. So now we're going to get a live feed from the camera. You can use this to set the angle of the camera. That way you don't get too much sky or too much dashboard. You can see here it'll say that you have to stop recording to do anything pretty much, which is sort of annoying. I wish it would just stop the recording automatically. So from here you can see your video files, and of course you can view them from the app. And then of course at the top, if you want, you can download it. And of course in the app is where all of your settings are going to be. For resolution, we just have 30 FPS in 1440p or 1080p. You're going to want to set that bitrate to maximum likely. Just get a really big memory card. Here you can change all of the settings, such as the Wi-Fi settings, the passwords, your parking mode. You can set your G-Shock sensors sensitivity. So this is pretty typical stuff. You'll just have to go through it yourself, and I'm not going to go over every single one, but it's pretty self-explanatory. Now if you want the parking mode, you are going to need this HK5 hardwire kit. This will connect to your fuse box, and then here it'll connect to your camera just like the regular power cable does. And then this will allow the camera to detect when your car is off. And then this little box will actually prevent your car battery from draining completely. Now typical cars, you're going to want to set that likely at 12 volts. Some people use 11.8, but it really depends on your battery. On my truck deep cycle battery, I use 11.8 volts and I've never had an issue. Generally though, with a healthy battery, this will prevent your camera or your car from being drained by the camera. Now with the parking mode, basically what this does is when it detects that the car is shut off with one of these wires, it'll still get power from the other wire, and the camera will switch to a lower power state mode called parking mode. And the nice thing about Viofo is they do use an automatic buffered parking mode, which means if it detects motion or an impact, it will actually start recording 10 or so seconds before that trigger, not after it, like a lot of cheaper dash cameras do. So that can be very helpful in a parking lot. Say someone keys your car or someone hit and runs your car, then this will help capture that. Now looking at the video quality of this camera, it is pretty good. I think most people are going to be satisfied. Like I said before, I did a comparison with this with the A119 Mini 2 and then also the Garmin Mini 2, and it's pretty close, I think, with the two Viofos, but I think it's pretty clear that this does look better than the Garmin Mini 2. One thing worth noting, as I showed in the menu for this one, there's only an option for 1440p or 1080p with only 30 frames per second. And the A119 Mini 2 does offer more options, including a 60 frames per second option. So there's a few differences, but I think most people are probably going to think they're pretty close, and they might just decide on what's cheaper or what feature they prefer, if they prefer having a built-in screen or not. With the Sony Starvis 2 image sensor, it does have pretty good night quality, and currently Viofo typically does have some of the best video quality on the market, for the price especially. So you might be able to get better video quality, of course, with 4K models, even some of Viofo's 4K models, but those are going to cost more. So you always got to weigh the pros and cons. And again, I think most people are going to be pretty satisfied. As I said before, I do think people are going to agree that the VS1 does actually look better than the Garmin Mini 2. But I will say I do still like the Garmin Mini 2 as a portable dash camera. Now, I showed it with just the adhesive mount, but you can get a suction cup mount. It makes it a very compact portable dash camera. But if you're not going to move it between cars, I don't see any reason to go with that over the VS1. And as I said, the Mini or the A119 Mini 2 does have more options in regards to different frame rates and resolutions. I think I would personally go with this one, even though I don't like the screen. I like the more options for the video. And some people I think are going to think the VS1 looks better, but it really depends on what you set your A119 at. And I'm not going to take the time to compare every single different setting on this, especially when this only has 2 resolutions. I'm going to keep this at the highest resolution at the maximum bit rate, where here you can get HDR, high dynamic range, if you stick to 30 frames per second, and then you can get 1440p or some other 4:3 resolutions, but I personally don't like those. I stick to the widescreen because I don't want a bunch of extra sky and or extra dashboard. But it's something to worth consider. So guys, comment down below. I'll provide a link down to the full comparisons, and you can comment in those too. Do you think this looks better than the Mini 2, the Garmin Mini 2, like I personally believe? And same with the A119 Mini 2. What do you think about the comparison between these two? I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts. Overall, I think this is another great affordable option from Viofo. I'll provide links, as usual, down in the description to where you can purchase them from Amazon. There is a coupon code on there. I believe it goes to the end of June or end of July of 2024. So check that coupon code out if you're interested in purchasing this one. Guys, if this video is helpful, I'd appreciate if you hit like and subscribe. And as usual, drive safe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.